League of Legends goes all-out arcade style, Wakfu starts a new system that lets you play as 3 characters at once, Relic Hunters Zero launched as a free open-source game on Steam, and both Blade & Soul and Wildstar give insight about their premium membership plans. What's going on, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending August 24th, 2015. Starting out the news this week is the exciting news that I couldn't quite mention last week for Blade & Soul due to embargo. And the news is the Founders Packs are now available for purchase, which of course means that we are one step closer to beta time. Among other things, players have the option to choose from 3 different editions, all of which offer access to closed beta, as well as the Head Start Early Access, and a lineup of all kinds of unique perks. Each one of the packs offers a nice chunk of premium points, which is used to increase your premium membership tier, which, like I mentioned in my Blade & Soul in the West What to Expect video, is a system that gives you quality of life features as you maintain the monthly membership. There are 4 tiers to the system, and as you grow in your tiers, your gold and EXP boosts by 10%, 15%, 20%, and 30%, which of course is still up for change, and the way you progress through this is by spending either one of the currencies in the game, whether it's in-game currency or real cash currency. It's an optional membership for those of you who are wondering. I spent some time going over this in the Blade & Soul video that I mentioned, so be sure to check that out if you're still curious. Also, for those of you who don't wish to purchase a Founders Pack, NCSoft will be giving out beta keys through giveaways at MMOHuts.com when the time comes. But as for now, there isn't an announced date for closed beta, but the game is expected to launch Q1 of 2016, so it shouldn't be too long from now. Head over to the site page linked in the description below for more information and questions answered about the Founders Packs. Also from NCSoft, this past week we see a bit more information about Wildstar's Cosmic Rewards system. This is a newly introduced loyalty system that rewards players for their investments into the game. This system is progressive, meaning that players will level up through cosmic tiers by making purchases in the game, earning greater rewards as they go along, of course, just like the premium system in Blade & Soul that I just mentioned. The cool news is that it's retroactive, so anyone who has already spent money in the game at any point since it launched last year has already earned points. It really does seem like a nice system that only encourages players to play to get rewards. Rewards that don't give them any sort of competitive advantage, of course. Read up about it in full detail at the site post at MMOHuts.com, and stay tuned towards the end of the week and early next week for our PAX Prime coverage for both Wildstar and Blade & Soul. Next up, ArenaNet revealed the Warriors Elite Specialization, which is coming to the Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns expansion. And here the Warriors become a Berserker, which actually gives the Warriors a torch as a new weapon. Interesting. And introduces a Rage mode, which taps into the Warriors' primal bloodlust to unleash their rage in a variety of new skills. This Rage mode, or Berserk mode as they call it, swaps out the standard multi-tier Adrenaline bar with a single Adrenaline bar with shorter skill cooldowns. One of the Berserker skills is called Flames of War, and it allows the Warrior to set themselves on fire, remove conditions, and create a fire field that burns enemies before it explodes into a flurry of flame. Sadly, there isn't a preview video, but I imagine it goes something like this. Well, maybe not exactly, but you get the point. More details were revealed about the Berserker during the Points of Interest live stream, which you can catch at twitch.tv/GuildWars2. Does seem like it's an interesting change for Warrior players, that's for certain. Speaking of specializations, Dungeon Fighter Online is still at it, of course, last week introducing the Second Awakening for the Male Gunner, which happens to be one of my favorite classes to play. Here we have the Prime, the Marshal, the Raven, and the Destroyer, all of which have some sort of crazy awakening skill that has something to do with guns and firepower. The Prime brings in the big guns with his Second Awakening skill called Hell March, that summons an army of robots from the Dimensional Rift that seek out and destroy the enemy. The Destroyer takes a heavy weapon approach with his specialty skill, blasting a huge laser beam at his enemies, firing his laser. The Marshal turns the energy power source created by the Imperium Scientist into a weapon and then throws it towards the enemy, creating a supernova. And finally, the Raven, the quick draw of the bunch, is able to swiftly move between the enemies while keeping the bullets flying. Once again, all really cool awakenings, and we still have another one to look forward to this coming week. Next up, a new feature in Wakfu lets you play up to 3 characters on a single account at the same time. The new hero system lets you manage characters or sidekicks that you've already created or started fresh in the game exactly the same way as your main character. They earn the same experience, and they have their own loot and dungeon tokens. It's definitely an easy way to level up different classes to play solo later, or give you the opportunity to play as your favorite healer and your favorite damage dealer simultaneously. So the point of this, according to the developers, is to enrich the gameplay experience by further developing the tactical RPG aspect. Putting together a team made up of several character classes means more balanced teams and more variety of strategic actions. In fact, some of the players are already playing several characters on different accounts and logging in on separate clients to form a group in order to play this way. Well, this lets you do just that, but a lot easier. Now, the only drawback to the new service is that it has a limited duration, sort of like the booster packs and subscriptions currently available, so you'll have a choice between 1 slot and 2 slots of characters for a duration of 7 days or 30 days. The new trailer here shows off all the madness, and there's plenty of information about it in the latest dev blog at Wakfu.com. Also last week, a new game called Relic Hunters Zero became available on Steam as a free open source game. So not only is this game free completely, no cash out, but the game's source code is also freely available. You can find or create your own mods very easily. As it is, the game is about shooting evil space ducks and space turtles in the face with really tiny cute guns, according to the official creator of the game. It's being developed by Rogue Snail, and it looks interesting with an overwhelmingly positive user rating on Steam, so it might be worth checking out. I mean, you know, what else do you have to lose but time? And speaking of new games, sorta, Webzen recently signed a partnership with developer Polygon Games in order to bring the Asian fantasy MMORPG ASTA to Western players. ASTA, The War of Tears and Winds, is a fantasy-style MMORPG that is supposed to offer a unique element of Asian fantasy, along with a variety of options for races, classes, and characters, PvP battlegrounds and guild battles, and of course, rich lore. Hasta la vista, baby. Sorry, I had to say it like Arnold. After being in development for years and released in Korea, the game has been coined the Asian World of Warcraft and seemed to be a really traditional point-and-click MMORPG powered by the CryEngine 3 and doesn't seem to offer anything that stands out, unfortunately. Either way, it's headed to the West through Webzen, although we don't exactly have a time frame on localization. Another Asian fantasy MMORPG from Webzen is getting an update this coming week. Age of Wulin is getting its Chapter 7 Awakening expansion tomorrow, the 25th of August. This expansion brings in the coveted 5th internal skills, a level cap increase for combat and internal skills, and new special instances to tackle. Check out the site post at MMOHuts.com to pick up on all the details. Also last week, Tera released a brand new content update, giving players access to Dreamstorm, a brand new world event for players that are level 65. Set in Northern Arun, Dreamstorm pits players against Arc Divas, who are tampering with the fabric of the dream in order to attempt to rebuild the storm barrier surrounding the continent. Yeah, you don't want to let them do that. In addition to that, the new update introduces a new buddy-up system and a wedding chapel at Isren's Bower in Cythera Fae. Sort of a smaller content update, but an update nonetheless. Next up, Armored Warfare showcases a really hot new map called Pipelines, which combines the open-style hot desert landscape with a too-close-for-comfort close-quarters oil refinery to fight in. The new map also has a village in the northwest corner to provide additional cover, but it is, however, full of destructible structures, so you're going to want to use this cover wisely. Other than that, the overall visuals in the game are looking really good as it continues in early access, and in the most recent update, update 0.8, it includes a ton of new features such as military bases, additional vehicles and maps, as well as a brand new tutorial. And finally, for a last bit of news, League of Legends went all-out arcade style recently, featuring merch, skins, and a mini-game. Hopefully it isn't too late for those of you who are just finding out about it and are still interested, but all 6 arcade-themed skins are available for a reduced price along with a bundle pack, but Arcade Riven, Sona, Hecarim, Misfortune, Battle Boss, Blitzcrank, and Final Boss Vigar seem to only be available individually through today, so hurry up and grab them quick. Hopefully it's not too late. But anyway, guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Look forward to our PAX Prime coverage coming to you guys later on in the week. And like always, you can get more information about the news featured in the recap by checking the links in the description below, or pick up plenty more news at MMOHuts.com. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. And until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.